Okay, everyone. Hello and welcome to True Sidereal Astrology in the Sky for the week of August 24th through the 30th. So let's talk about what's going on energetically this week, and we'll also go through some Schumann and space weather information and how that might fit into the astrology. All right. So first we're going to go over the undercurrent, the subtle undercurrent of the slow movers, the slow moving planets. So that's Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn are slow movers. They're more of an unconscious energy. So, and this is, of course, collective astrology, but it also reflects our individual state a bit as well, because we're creating this collective reality because of what we all feel individually. All right, so Pluto continues his very long stay in Capricorn. He is also retrograde motion at the time, right now. And so what that means is we're internally reflecting upon our fears, our shadows, any darknesses, any issues around power and control may be coming to the surface. And the idea with him in Capricorn here is to really dig deep and work at it. Maybe issues around addiction, destructive habits collectively and individually play a part in this. And this is leading to a deep transformation, of course, through that Capricorn energy, which is hard work. We have to put in the work in order to transform collectively before Pluto officially enters Aquarius much later. Then we have Neptune and Saturn, Neptune and Saturn, who continue their retrograde motion in Pisces, which is encouraging us to reflect, reevaluate all the words when it comes to our responsibilities, time management, which is Saturn energy, and then with Neptune there, our responsibilities, time management, and our goals around our dreams and visions, and even spirituality plays a fact into that. And Pisces and Neptune can also cause a bit of brain fog, illusion, confusion. And so we have to remember that that's also in the air as well. So, and we're trying to figure out within us how we can take responsibility for not only ourselves, but the collective. What goals do we have, and how can we really plan to achieve them in this solid foundation that Saturn really represents? Can we create a plan and move forward when these planets station direct? And then Uranus, the planet of shock, and he will bring this destruction for the purpose of reevaluation and rebuilding in a very quick and surprising manner. So he is continuing his very long journey in Taurus. And so with him stationed in Taurus, we can see issues around Taurus energy that may be shocking. So our financial system, and we can see that, our financial system is definitely changing. Inflation, that's also Uranus energy. Surprising and unexpected moments with the inflation, and I think we all know some things that have happened around that. And then we have we could also see some things in that have to do with real estate and material possessions while he's here in Taurus as well. All right, so that is all playing out and will be playing out for a good while. All right, so now let's talk about the sun and the moon. So the sun continues his stay in Leo. He's helping us to consciously express and feel confident by being empowered and authentically ourselves, all that Leo energy. And the moon will journey through Virgo and Libra this week. Virgo and True Sidereal, since in True Sidereal, the signs equal the size as close as we can come of the constellations in the actual sky, and Virgo is one of the bigger constellations. And so the moon will spend most of the week in Virgo, and then at the tail end, she'll enter Libra. So while she is in Virgo, she's asking us to pay attention to the details of what we began or initiated during that new moon. So the new moon represents new beginnings, and it could be very little. Individually, it could be something small, sometimes unnoticeable, but yet there was a new beginning that was initiated during this new moon. And she's asking us to pay attention to those details and be rational about them and create a plan, which also goes very hand in hand with Saturn retrograde as well. So when she passes through Libra towards the end of the week, we'll feel more of a sense of justice and a desire for equality and peace within our internal world, and our emotions will reflect that. All right. So now I want to talk about the Schumann energy from last week. So there was a lot of fluctuations and energies and spikes going on last week. We had a bunch of lightning showing up in the Schumann from the area in Russia where the monitoring system is. Of course, that bounces up and down from Earth to our ionosphere and transfers across the planet. So that energy is felt everywhere. We also had a coronal hole energy that arrived on Tuesday. So we felt that, I believe the KP index at its highest went up to a 7. And so last week there was a lot of exhaustion, and that's typical as we get towards the new moon. And with extra energy fluctuations, we feel that more intensely. So if you felt tired, exhausted, if you experienced any issues around speaking, that's also Leo energy, and our sun is in Leo. So if you experienced any issues around your mouth, your throat, maybe your solar plexus, that's all a call to kind of look at where the area in your body was experiencing those issues. And that may be where you're getting those DNA upgrades, which is what that white will represent. As it clears out that stuck energy, we're getting upgraded in that area as well. And of course, it all relates to a chakra within our bodily system. Okay, and then we also have some timeline jumps and gaps in data, which is seen right here as the black streaks. There's 3. There's one little tiny one right here. So that's known as gaps in data or timeline jumps. And so some of us may have experienced, glitches in the matrix, but it can cause a lot of brain fog, confusion, and like time is either slowing down rapidly or moving very, very fast. Anomalies like that. All right. So Mercury will enter Leo on the 25th after he had a long stay in Cancer because of his retrograde motion. So now he finally enters Leo. And so our thoughts and communications will reflect that Leo energy, and we become more authentic, boldly expressing our confidence, which the sun has been in Leo and will be in Leo for a little bit longer. And so we have not only the sun, but now Mercury within Leo, reflecting this energy of passionate creativity and expressing that authentically from a heart-based point. And we also have Mercury up here conjunct the MC. Now this is for the US. And so we can see here the MC collectively represents leaders. And, it could even mean politicians and governments, whoever leads the country. So we may see a lot of talk and communication that may be boldly expressed or even creatively expressed around those topics. Last week we had talked about there was a placement where it was referring to creatively expressing our boldness in opposition to the MC, the issues like the MC, like our governments and our leaders. And so once again, we have that theme with Mercury conjunct the MC this week, and he'll be in this position for a bit, at least all week. So thoughts and information exchange when it comes to our public figures in government may be even more in the air than what it already is. All right. So this this opposition between Venus and Pluto will last all week. And of course, Pluto is still in retrograde. We talked about Pluto a little bit ago. And when he is opposing Venus, there is this feeling of a push and pull, this or that, confusion, tension, and difficulty with how to integrate the energy of Pluto, which is bringing up issues of power and control. It's bringing up issues of shadows and things that we may not like to see and face collectively. Pluto's bringing up fears, and it's directly opposed to this Venus in Cancer energy, which we want and we desire. Venus is about desire. We desire to be nurtured, protected, safe, feeling the comforts of home while Venus stays in Cancer. And that's, of course, directly opposed to what Pluto is bringing up for us collectively. And so this tension is trying to get us to make peace with what is brought up. And so there may be a desire to act upon the shadowy qualities, and at other times with an open heart and compassion as we try to navigate this opposition and try to find a balance and make a choice on how we're going to react and what we do desire and how we're going to make peace with that within ourselves. All right. So this week, the conscious focus of the collective is on how we can express ourselves authentically and creatively, since that sun is in Leo. Becoming empowered and confident is also on our minds. Our internal and emotional world is focused on the details of what we may have begun at the new moon and at the beginning of the week, as well as experiencing emotions of collective karma. We have the moon meeting up with the South Node. And so we may be thinking, oh gosh, these are the mistakes that we've made in the past, and how can we heal those and move forward? How can we learn from our mistakes from the past in order to grow and evolve in a positive way? This week also, we have a lot of Lilith energy. And so in my newsletter, I've written up quite a bit about that Lilith energy, which of course is all about desiring freedom and liberation, especially when it comes to feminine empowerment. There's issues, Lilith brings up issues around taboos, societal taboos, and then of course that gets you into this deep conscious thought process of what are taboos to our society and why are they there? Why do they exist? And Lilith wants to rebel against those rules and those regulations. More than anything, she wants to be free to express herself, and she does not want to be suppressed and doesn't do well being suppressed. And so in my newsletter, I talk more about those placements. And so if you go to realskyrevelations.com, it's totally free, and it will come out this Sunday on the 24th, if you'd like to read that. So, of course, we have Mercury entering Leo as well, which we kind of are feeling this heightened awareness of energy of what's really happening collectively. And, of course, we talked about Mercury meeting up with the MC for the U.S., further emphasizing issues of the collective and highlighting those that lead. So a lot of communication, speech, thought, and information exchange on our leaders may come up this week. All right. So, of course, we talked about Venus opposing Pluto and causing tension between our collective fears and shadows and the desire for balance and equality. How can we manage that? And so even though these energies seem really intense, they're designed for improvement and healing. We have a sun region heading towards us, facing Earth, that has the potential to also give off more solar flares. So that may play a part as well with the heightened energies of the week. All right. Thank you all so much. And if you would like to sign up for my newsletter, of course, realskyrevelations.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You can sign up totally free. I put out a newsletter once a week on Sundays. I also offer a variety of chart readings from natal to progressions, transits. I do consultations. If you have a question about an area of your life, you can book a consultation and we can go from there. And I also do tarot readings if you'd like that, if you just like a little tarot insight as well. All right. Thank you all, and blessings for an empowering week ahead.